So how long does a divorce take? So let's break down the timeline into some simple, easy steps which you can follow, because actually if you're doing this yourself, it can feel quite overwhelming. So initially, you've got your application. So as a result of the law change in April 2022, the divorce law has changed, so you no longer have to prove fault. Previously, you had to blame the other party, which increased hostility right from the get-go. That's no longer a requirement. So now you can make an application online for a divorce. It's really quite simple. A lot of it is quite administrative. You just put in your details, the other party's details. And importantly, you have to tick that the marriage is irretrievably broken down and there's no prospect of reconciliation. By that I mean there's no prospect of you two being able to get back together and sort out your differences, whether that be through a mediator or a discussion. So you're ticking a box to say, actually this is it, there's no way forward. And if you make that application, you will then have to wait for the court to issue it, which will be usually a couple of weeks after. It can be significantly shorter than that, but often it depends on how much time the court have as to how long it takes. So then what will happen is it will be issued to the other party, which means it will be sent from the court to the other party, the respondent, which will be your husband or wife. And then what will happen is they will see the application, and that's when the timeline really gets going, because 20 weeks from the date of issue is where a cooling off period essentially happens. Nothing happens within that period to do with the divorce application itself. It's very much a cooling off period to give you time to reconsider whether this is really what you want. At the end of that 20 weeks, you can then apply for something called a conditional order. So that doesn't finalise your divorce, but it confirms that all of the details within the application itself are correct, and confirms that you still wish to proceed. Even after having this 20-week cooling off period, you still want to carry on with the divorce. After that, you must wait 6 weeks, and you can then apply for something called a final order. Now, once you apply for the final order, that finalises your divorce. So once it's granted by the court, you're legally divorced. The issue a lot of people don't realise is how the finances work within that timetable, because divorce and finances are very much related, but they are two separate matters legally. So how do they overlap? So in terms of the 20-week period when nothing happens, the cooling off period, we utilise that time to essentially try and reach an agreement between the parties to the finances and the children. That can take place by way of financial disclosure, for example, or mediators or negotiations through solicitors, and we'd advise you on what would be best for you at that time. We would hope that by the time you get a conditional order, the agreement is already been reached, and then after you've got the conditional order, that agreement can then be filed with the court with the relevant forms, the relevant disclosure, etc. Often, in many cases, it doesn't work that easy. Lots of cases become very protracted, and therefore you can't quite meet those timetables. But it's a minimum period of 6 months, a divorce. It can go on significantly longer than that, but it certainly won't be any less. If you need any support with any of the topics covered in this video, please don't hesitate to give us a call, get in touch, and we'll assist you.